George and I are sitting here trying to do percentages, and it just was fucked up. That's why we do sports, not math.
Yeah, Jesse got another med school interview. Congrats.
Yeah. Congratulations, Jesse.
I'm not stupid. I'm going after a doctor. What?
Yeah, shorty.
Intro.
Sugar mama.
Yeah,
anyway,
what's the intro?
Well, we're going to talk about the suicide pool really quick because everybody's starting to join the suicide pool.
We got
now,
20, how many people?
We've got probably like, I don't know how many people, 25 or 30 people. But
for you people who are struggling and can't figure out, feel free to email me. I'm handling it very well.
Yeah, for right now, guys. But you keep emailing this motherfucker, I'm going to hear these. Like, what's wrong with these
Go to Yahoo, click on fantasy, come down on the right-hand side. Actually, click on fantasy, and then down on the right-hand side, there's going to be what fantasy games? It's the elimination pool. Click on that.
The survivor pool.
Survivor pool, yeah.
See?
Click on that.
It's the survivor pool. Now, this is another thing. The ID number is 4401. The password is sports, plural. Okay? Now, if you guys are being sneaky, and I know most of the people that are probably out there that watch us are fucked up like George and I, and they're like, I'm going to put in 4 or 5 motherfucking entries.
Log out.
Log out and create a new email account, because if you're trying to log in with that same email account, that's why the system is like, nah, motherfuckers, we don't play this shit.
Now, you can log in with your Gmail account, and you can log in with your Yahoo account, and then you can log in with another Gmail account, and log in with another Yahoo account, but come on.
Yeah.
Just think.
God dang. So anyway, we're going to go
your
from...
Your boy is scrapping on a Sunday.
Kobe was like, spot, pop, pop, ping. Give me your camera, motherfucker.
Supposedly he was.
Oh, shit.
Fucking
There's no pictures of me on it.
Jacked up the dude's wrist.
Now, see, this is when the media gets...
150,000.
And the guy, he probably went like this.
Yep. You know what I'd have been? Oh, my back. My neck and my back.
We're talking about Kobe Bryant.
Oh, and before we get too far into this, hi, Gerald. Thank you for watching the show and telling everyone at the Air Force in Indianapolis that we are great, and keep it up.
Gerald's been around for a long time.
Yes, Gerald.
A loyal follower. What's happening, my man?
Hey, do we have the dude who you... Does anyone remember the person that used to sit right here? The little... Does anyone...
That's just all I'm saying. We want to see who the first person... And it can't be Codman.
No.
Because Codman... The person that used to sit right here, describe them, and tell us the name. If you can get the name, the first person, free shirt.
Ooh, don't get your hopes.
It'll probably be in 2013. But you will get a free shirt.
Now, back to Kevin's boy. When he's not trying to figure out if he wants to play with a turkey or in Turkey or some Turkish get-up or German nationals team, he's in church beating people up.
Yeah, Kobe was just saying, fuck it, I'm going to tell everybody about my MMA academy down in San Diego. But anyway, what happened was, somebody was snapping pictures of Kobe and his wife in church, and at least that's what Kobe thought. And so he snagged the guy's camera, apparently fucked the guy's wrist up, and then he took the camera and he looked and he was like, oh, there's no pictures of me on this mark. And then he handed the camera back. Now,
so my question is where, as an athlete or a public figure, do you think it's okay that you can just snatch someone's shit?
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
it is very,
come on,
you know, I know if it was me, and I'm going to tell you right up, if I was a figure like that,
I'd smile.
There would be getting a lot of people get fucked up.
See, I wouldn't.
See, George could handle it, and you guys would think that probably George would be the spaz, and I would be the more laid back. But if people were snapping pictures of me of my kid, they would get fucked up.
You want to know why? Because my half crooked ass is on the metro and everywhere else snapping pictures of all the shit I see. So I don't give a fuck. To me, if you're outside. Now, I'm not going to put you on the internet. I blur out your face, do something like that. But it's just, to me, once you walk out the door, you are access to the public.
Yep.
I'm part of the public. You're part of the public.
I tell you how we'll go down in Kevin's world. I'll be walking down. I have a nice, fat-ass, retarded-ass security team, right? And someone will be like, I'll be like this. You see that nigga take the picture? Line them up. As soon as I get around the corner. How many, let me ask you something. How many paparazzi pictures do you see of like people like P. Diddy?
They don't.
Why?
Or 50 Cent or Eminem.
Why don't you see it?
Because they will get fucked up.
That's right.
It's white people who get pictures, and black people who are acting like white people who get their pictures taken.
Yeah, there's white ducks. How many you see of Eminem?
None.
There you go.
Here's another thing about Eminem that somebody posted on Facebook. All the stuff he's ever won, he's never been nominated for an award on BET. Explain that one to me.
That's fucked up.
Seriously.
It's probably because he's white and it's BET, not WET.
What? I get
white entertainment television.
Oh. No, because that would be racist.
Right.
Yeah, seriously, if there was white entertainment TV or a white college Negro fund or whatever, that'd be a historically white college.
You got your whole, they fucked it up for years. I mean, you're paying for what your forefathers fucked up.
And let me set you straight. And this is going to sound cliche.
Right.
But look, I grew up playing sports, being one of the only white people on the team. So I'm used to being out, hanging out with black dudes. And like I tell the kids...
George grew up in a very black neighborhood. Like, people don't realize that.
And like I tell the kids that I would coach, look, if somebody wants to give you money to go to college because you're black, take it.
Yeah.
Just take it. If you want to give me money to go to college because I was white, shit, I'd take it.
And then with that being said, any of you people, I don't believe that George and I get really like educational on Uncut Sports Show, but there's a lot of money. Any of you people are out there that are going to college, if you guys are not out there looking for Pell Grants and free money, you guys are
stupid.
Fucked up.
On to other fucked up things, for you people out there who looked on ESPN and maybe MTO Mobile and saw that LeBron James got dunked on, look, I'm a LeBron fan. I'd be the first person to tell you if he got dunked on, because he got dunked on at the run and shooter that summer league. This was not getting dunked on. He went to the top of the key. Some Chinese dude stole the ball from him. I don't know how. Stole the ball from him.
He was Chinese?
Yeah. Stole the ball, went down.
George.
He's coming this way.
George. Hold on.
He's Chinese. He was at a Chinese event in China.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't, what? I didn't say Oriental.
It wasn't like
I said Chinese.
No, none of that. Okay,
So the Chinese dude stole the ball, and he's going like this and going to the basket. So he's coming from the side, he's going like this. LeBron James jumped past him. He went like this and swiped over the top. That's not getting dunked on.
Right.
You want to see getting dunked on? Look at Michael Jordan versus the Knicks. Look at John Starks. That's getting dunked on.
Yeah.
That
when
shit,
John Starks, who did he jump up? I
think it might have been somebody
Mutombo?
from... Was it?
I can't remember.
He just fucking rose up at 5'7", motherfucker.
That was nasty. Now, speaking of other people that are in fair, this one, okay. Eli Manning, and I know you guys already probably heard it. At least the people who don't follow us just for MMA, came out and said that he feels that he is in the same class as Tom Brady. Now,
does he mean like financial class, social class, economic class?
NFL
like what
football class?
Did they take a class in college together? Because they are not the same class of quarterback.
And there's going to be some people that argue.
How?
You got to now. Realistically, you can look at Eli Manning and say, okay, well, can Eli Manning have the possibility of being in the same class as Tom Brady? There's a possibility. There's also a possibility that I could show up at training camp for the New York Jets and be starting running back. Now, that possibility in that window is very small. Oops, it just closed. But it's not going to happen. I mean...
Not hating on Eli. You have a Super Bowl, but so does Trent Dilfer.
Right.
I mean, do I need to say anything else? You're not as good as you think you are. Your defense won you that Super Bowl that year. And David Tyree, well, where's he? Congratulations, take your Super Bowl and just go away.
This is the thing. If you're saying, when you're making a statement like that about I'm in the same class as someone, okay, then right now, if you're in the same class as that person, if everything ends right now, this moment, okay, where is Eli Manning going?
Right next to Tom Brady.
Right, and Tom Brady's going into the Hall of Fame. He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Eli Manning is probably not even going to get in.
Maybe Eli thought he was Peyton.
Huh?
Maybe he thought he was Peyton.
He could have.
Peyton Manning will go down in the same class as Tom Brady, in my opinion. Now, granted, he doesn't have all the Super Bowl rings, but Peyton Manning doesn't have the system, nor the weapons, nor the hoodie, or a lot of the things that Tom Brady's had the luxury. I'd like to see, honestly, Tom Brady, if he'd have played somewhere else, could he be that?
When I look at those quarterbacks, when I look at Peyton Manning and I look at Tom Brady, I look at Tom Brady kind of as how Joe Montana was in a great system, ones that kept giving them rings and rings. And I look at Peyton Manning, who actually took it a step further and was like a Dan Marino, just a straight up pocket quarterback, just burnt them up and lit everybody up. Dan Marino, unfortunately, didn't have the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning has and might have the opportunity to win one, two more, who knows.
Now,
anyway.
On to other interesting scenarios or situations. The Eagles,
well, it's your boys, because they're the fucking big news in the NFL this
So the
season.
Eagles decided to sign Steve Smith because the Giants decided that he wasn't healthy enough, and Steve Smith said, fuck it, I'll go somewhere else, and signed for a league minimum or very little amount, and it turned out that him and LaShawn McCoy had some Twitter beef.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm Andy Reid, there's a real easy way to fix this.
Do you want to tell these people what happened?
Well, how about you tell them?
Well, see, when Steve Smith was a Giant, which was, 2 weeks ago, LaShawn McCoy, young ass, made a comment about O.C. Romero being a soft whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, Steve Smith, in defense of his teammate at the time, twittered back and directed at LaShawn McCoy and photoshopped an image of the Eagles' Super Bowl case, which we all know is empty.
Right.
But that doesn't matter because it's today, not yesterday. I know. But maybe Steve Smith thinks. And so LaShawn McCoy and probably the rest of the Eagles didn't like to include Andy Reid. But anyway, that's all done with, and Steve Smith walked in the camp real quick and said, "Hey, it's done with. Whatever. I'm past it."
Sean McCoy said, "No."
No, I meant what I said.
So here's what happens. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm after practice, and you've busted your ass all day long, I tell McCoy and fucking Steve Smith, meet me on the goal line. And they're going to go, like, now run to the 50 and run back. And when you get back here, I'll ask you, have you fixed your problem? And when they say no, run to the other goal line. And you better do it under a certain amount of time, or we'll be here till the fucking sun comes up the next day. That's how you fix that shit.
Yeah.
These fucking $1 million prima donna kids, and that's what a lot. LaShawn McCoy and Steve Smith are kids. What are they, 23, 24?
Right.
And the sad part is, it looks like every team's going to need a new position. They need to create a position on all these teams who's going to babysit these assholes and teach them how to use Twitter. Yes, freedom of speech, yada yada yada. But don't act like a douche.
Yeah.
You're acting like a douchebag. Just shut up. What OC does is OC's business. It's none of your fucking business. No one asked for your opinion, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's why you should Twitter that shit to him.
Nah, I'm good.
Just now, moving on to MMA news. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a quick. Go ahead.
Thank you for everyone who asked me, did I see the fights? And unfortunately, no, I didn't see the fights. And it sounds like I missed a great card. But guess what? It's being replayed tonight.
George was camping.
No, George was fucking laying on the floor with
Actually,
no
it's
fucking
replayed
power.
tonight, but you guys won't see this till after the replay.
Right, so I'll watch him tonight and then maybe comment on Sunday. I heard Ben Henderson fucked.
Well, let's talk about Ben Henderson let's talk about the Blasian.
He's $155, right?
He's $155, but this dude's physique and his legs, like we're watching him, like I'm just like, man, this guy, he has so much upside.
Who did he fight?
He fought Jim Miller.
He fucked Jim Miller.
Now, for all you guys that didn't keep up the history of the lightweight class right now, it is stacked. There's so many people entering this class. There's so much fucking turnover. But Jim Miller had lost 2 times to Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard. Both of the guys are sitting at the top of that class. And let me tell you something. Both of them, it was a fight when they fought Jim Miller. I mean, they both had their hands full with Jim Miller, and those are the only 2 losses he had. Ben Henderson destroyed him. He destroyed him in every aspect of his game. He was stronger. He was quicker. He fucking, he's snaky, squirrely shit. He gets out of any type of submission. And Ben Henderson, to me, out of all the lightweights, has the most potential and upside. Right now, the current lightweights, I think, that are out there, and there's a lot of them. Now, immediately after beating Jim Miller, you thought if Jim Miller won this fight, everybody said he would be slated to fight the winner of Edgar Maynard. He would get the title shot. Well, now you've got Henderson saying, what about this? But on the other side, you've got Clay. Now, how do you say his last name?
Clay the Carpenter.
Clay the Carpenter. Guida. I never get it right. Somebody will correct me again for the 40th time.
It's Guida.
Right.
Guida.
Saying, I beat the man that beat Henderson by him beating Pettis. So he's like, hey, why shouldn't I get a shot? You know what I mean?
Clay and Henderson should fight. And then the winner of that gets the fight. Maynard's, what's his name?
Clay Henderson. And they're saying now, Clay versus Henderson. I'm making up fighters, man. The battle of the hair. Anyway, those mugs should both try to get a fucking contract with Head and Shoulders with Troy Polamalu. Now, that moves us on to the other fight that was that night, the main event.
Cut to the fucking chase. Look, fucking Dan Hardy lost his 4th in a row. Everyone wants to know why he's around because Fertitta likes him. Now, Dan Hardy. Did I say Dan Henderson? Jesus,
you know Dan Hardy. You said Dan Hardy.
Yeah, did I? Dan Hardy. That's the only reason he's getting another fight, and it was put on Twitter. Fertitta's like, I like the way he fights, and let's face it, for you guys who want to see stand up and throw punches and keep coming forward, that's what he does.
Yeah, and we said that once. We said that actually about Clay, months ago. It's like if guys, there was I think John Howard was complaining.
Because John Howard got cut. I've never even fucking heard of John Howard.
Yeah, the problem is John Howard. He gasses out and he doesn't do anything. He lays around. So if you're gonna fight like that, it's not gonna be entertaining. So you're going to get cut. But Dan Hardy comes up. He shows the fight. He's also over across the Atlantic. So he brings a lot of people over in England who want to follow him and stuff like this. So there's more of a reason to keep Dan Hardy. But with all that being said,
Dan Hardy doesn't even know if he wants to take another fight. He's questioning whether he can fight. And let's face it, he either needs to cut. What's he, $185?
Huh?
Is he 185?
Or no, he's 170. Yeah.
I don't think he can get to 155.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to go up to 185.
The thing is Dan Hardy's a big big welter.
Maybe he needs to go to 185.
Well, let me ask you this: do you guys think that Dan Hardy should be cut from the UFC, or should have been cut from the UFC? That's the first question.
And try to take your personal bias away.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard because Dan Hardy's a douche. Period. I mean, he is. He's done some douchey things. He said some douchey things. But in reality, I don't mind watching him fight because you know he's either gonna get knocked out or he's gonna try to knock you out unless he's fighting GSP, and then he gets humped to death.
Right.
But that's GSP.
Shit might happen.
So take your personal bias aside and tell us what you would do with Dan Hardy if you were the UFC.
If you were the, and then after that, tell us why do you think he's still around? You know,
because Fertitta wants him. That's been explained. Fertitta straight up said, "Look, I like him because I like the way he fights."
Yeah, I agree. Now
Fertitta's got more pull than Dana.
Yeah. Is there anything else that George and I are going to talk about on this lovely Wednesday morning?
Yeah, it's kind of huge.
What is it?
The UFC signed a contract with Fox. So now, what does that mean? That means that FX, Fuel, and Fox are now going to have UFC events. Hopefully what that means is we'll get a UFC with 3 numbers on actual Fox, because I think that would be huge for the UFC in the States.
Right. What did you said, the UFC with 3 numbers?
Yeah, like a UFC 130, or I don't want to see UFC versus 5 or
UFC
okay,
I see what you're saying.
Fight Night 29.
Yeah, you want to see an actual event.
UFC Fight Nights.
Right.
If you're going to put a show on Fox, not only does it need to be a UFC with 3 numbers, but fucking give me a name.
Right.
They said you'll never see Brock Lesnar or GSP, or you see him for the first one. That's fine.
Right.
I'd love to see them on Fox because they're going to take a hit because they're not going to get their pay-per-view money, but who cares?
Yeah.
This is a chance to really grow the sport.
I think if they, because FX is high. I mean, FX has so many big shows. These Sons of Anarchy. I mean, I could go on and on. They have such a huge following that if they were to offer an event of the magnitude that you're talking about, a real UFC event, not a fight.
No, I want it on Fox. The real event needs to be on Fox. Because think about it. Even if you have basic cable, you might not have FX. If you have rabbit ears and you're just getting digital cable, you still get Fox.
Now, so they take
I'm
that
talking about Channel motherfucking 5.
Channel 5, you put that live event.
With the UFC with 3 numbers. Think about how many households you have the opportunity to be in.
I think they are good. I think just from a selling standpoint, I don't know if they do it on live TV. Like even with the other ones, Showtime, I think it would have to be one of their cable networks. I think they'd be hard pressed to do it on I mean, it'd be good. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think you're going to see that.
No,
because there's no type of there's no type. I mean, every household can get it. If they aired it at 9 o'clock, any little kid can see it. If it looks, obviously.
Fuck that. It's time to be a parent. If you're worried about your kid watching it, dude, there's worse thing. They could watch the Fox News before. It's going to be worse. I'm just thinking from a chance from advertising dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about Super Bowl money commercials, but you could,
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, if they
advertising dollars alone could make up for pay.
I think any event, if they did it on Fox, if they did it on FX, because those channels are so. I mean, it seems like everybody has that now. Everybody has basic cable. I think that if they got that free event, that they ran on FX or whatever, Channel 5 and stuff, and then they just took the pay-per-view hit. I think the next time around their pay-per-view, it could bring a lot of mainstream people. It could open up another door for more people to find. Because believe it or not, as many as you guys who love MMA out there, let me tell you something. There are so many people. It freaks me out that don't know shit about MMA. Is that cage fighting? Is that where the guys fight in the cage? Is that good? It was kind of you'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't. And in reality, it has nothing to do with the fucking numbers that boxing does and the amount of fans that boxing has. That's not even Did you see that knockout on fucking ESPN this past weekend? That little black dude fucking just cornholed this cat.
Who did you?
I don't know. This motherfucker ducked him.
What you would say? Boxing?
That motherfucker went stiff. I actually watched the boxing match. Could I tell you his name? No, he's a little black dude. He ducked, hit a dude with a right hand, put him down.
Yep.
Now, with that said, what do you think that this deal with UFC and Fox is going to bring us as fans? What do you think we have to look forward to? Besides now all the shit getting moved off Versus and Spike onto... I don't have Fuel TV, so I hope they don't put shit on Fuel. I don't know where to find Fuel.
They're not going to do that.
Okay, I'm just saying Fuel's one of their networks that they've been talking about.
They said it definitely will be run on FX.
Okay.
The Ultimate Fighter will be on FX now.
Man, don't fuck up my Sons of Anarchy to run some fucking Ultimate Fighter
Sons
bullshit.
of Anarchy.
Because that will piss me off
to
no end. Because I don't need to see a bunch of drunk white people in a house beating each other up. That shit got old fucking 7 seasons ago.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. That's why I think the way they should bring women's MMA in is with the house.